Welcome to the enchanted world of Kapibaya. I invite you to a fairy tale titled The Christmas Mission. Aisha lived in Kenya, in a small village where daily life was full of smiles and joy. In her village, on the edge of the jungle, life was peaceful, and the inhabitants lived close to nature. Every day, Aisha helped her mother, looked after her younger siblings, and ran through the fields collecting flowers and fruits. However, what she loved the most was going on safari with her dad. One day, during the pre-Christmas season, Aisha's parents planned a special adventure for her, a trip to the safari. Aisha couldn't believe she would soon have another chance to see the wild animals she read about in her books. Lions, zebras, elephants, and rhinos. For days, she dreamed about this journey, imagining all the wonderful creatures she would finally see in real life. On the day of the safari, Aisha woke up very early, while the sky was still dark and the sun had just started to rise. Her entire family climbed into a safari jeep and set off toward the savannah. It was cold, but Aisha's excitement warmed her heart. Laughter and lively chatter filled the car as Aisha gazed out of the window, marveling at the beauty of the surrounding nature. When they reached the savannah, Aisha couldn't believe her eyes. In the distance, there was a herd of zebras and nearby elephants were grazing. As the jeep drove closer, they spotted a lion lounging under the shade of a tree. Aisha felt as if she were in a fairy tale, surrounded by the wild animals she had only known from books. The most impressive moment came when a massive rhinoceros approached their car and stopped for a moment. "Look!" Aisha exclaimed, her heart pounding with joy. She was so close to these magnificent creatures. Every moment of the safari felt magical to her. Yet deep down, she sensed the adventure wasn't over. After returning to her village, Aisha eagerly awaited Christmas. Even though Kenya didn't have snow, the festive spirit filled her heart. One evening, after playing with her friends, Aisha returned home and noticed something unusual on her bed. An envelope decorated with red stars. It was a letter from Santa Claus. With trembling hands, Aisha opened the envelope and began to read. "Dear Aisha, Christmas is a time of magic, love, and togetherness. I see that you are very caring, looking after your family and friends, and your heart is full of joy. That is why this year, I have a special gift for you. Your task today is to read a story about me." Aisha felt honored. She lay down on her bed and began reading the story about Santa Claus. The legend of Santa Claus. Santa Claus is a figure of magic and joy, known all around the world. While he is most often associated with a red coat, a white beard, and a sack full of presents, his story is much older and more mysterious. It all began centuries ago in a small town called Patara, in what is now Turkey. There lived a bishop named Nicholas, a kind-hearted man who dedicated his life to helping others. Nicholas never sought fame or recognition and used his wealth to assist the needy. According to legend, one day he learned of a poor family that had no money. To help them without revealing his identity, Nicholas threw a bag of gold coins through their window. Nicholas became famous for his acts of kindness, inspiring many stories about a mysterious benefactor. Over time, the legend of Saint Nicholas spread across the world, and Santa Claus became a symbol of the Christmas spirit, generosity, kindness, and care for others, especially children. Today, during the Christmas season, Santa Claus visits children worldwide, bringing them gifts and reminding adults that the greatest gift of all is sharing love and warmth with others. In his character, the magic of Christmas lives on a time when kindness becomes the most important thing. Meanwhile, in Santa's land, where winter lasts for half a year, Christmas preparations were always perfectly organized. The elves had their tasks planned down to the minute, and every toy was carefully crafted and ready for delivery. But that day, something unexpected happened. Time started speeding up. Elf Pip, responsible for overseeing doll production, was working as usual when he noticed something strange. The clocks on the workshop walls began ticking faster than usual. This must be some kind of disturbance, he thought. He looked at the other elves, who were just as puzzled. Lila, He called to the elf who was a master of organization. "Do you see what I see? The clocks are racing like crazy." There was commotion everywhere. The elves immediately gathered in the factory's central hall to discuss what to do. Pip, Lila, and Timur, the senior elf, ran to Santa Claus to tell him about the strange phenomenon. "Santa, time is speeding up, and we don't know how to stop it," exclaimed Lila, handing Santa a clock. Santa furrowed his brow and looked at the clock, which indeed showed that Christmas was much closer than it should have been. "This must be some magical issue," he said seriously. "But don't worry, we know how to handle such things." Santa knew he had to act quickly to give the elves a chance to complete all the presents on time. He summoned his most experienced elves to work out a plan together. "We need to find a way to restore time to its normal pace. But until then, you'll have to speed up your work," Santa said. "Lila, you and your team will need to increase toy production. Pip, you'll oversee quality control, and Timur, you'll lead the search for the magical source of the problem." The elves, though worried, immediately got to work. The toy factory turned into a true hub of intense activity. Every elf worked as quickly as possible, maintaining the highest level of precision. Still, time kept speeding up. Hours seemed to fly by, and Christmas Eve was approaching faster and faster. Timur, along with a group of magical elf experts, set off for the Enchanted Tower, where ancient time-related spells were stored. "If something has changed here, we might find the answer to why time is racing," he said, flipping through ancient tomes. Meanwhile, the factory was bustling with activity. Pip and Lila gave it their all, trying to keep up with the relentless clock. The elves ran between workshops, singing Christmas songs to keep their spirits up. "We have to believe we'll make it," Lila called to the other elves. Finally, Timur returned from the Enchanted Tower with good news. "We found the cause," he shouted. "One of the protective spells Santa cast ages ago has weakened because of an overflow of Christmas magic. That's why time sped up." Santa breathed a sigh of relief. "We can fix this," he said with a smile. "But we'll need a bit of magic from the very source of Christmas, love, joy, and kindness." The elves gathered around Santa, holding their tools in their hands. Together, with Santa's magical help, they restored the spell that returned time to its normal pace. It only took a moment, and the clock started ticking as usual again. "We did it!" Pip shouted with joy. "But we can't rest just." That's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you won't miss any new videos. Thanks to your support, our community is growing, and you'll always stay up to date with our latest content. Give us a thumbs up if you liked it, and leave a comment about what you'd like to see in the future. Thanks for being with us. See you in the next video. Bye.